Hello everyone, welcome back to another Dice Throne talk. Today we're going to be talking about a favorite character of mine from Dice Throne Season 2, and that is the Artificer. He's a pretty fun one to play, mainly because his complexity is so high. There's a lot to do with him and for him, and so it gives him the advantage to do more things than the barbarian, say, or maybe the samurai. However, it doesn't mean he's even more powerful than any of those. It's just that he has more stuff that he can do. As you can tell right here, complexity is level 6. There's not too many out there that are that high, so that's pretty cool that he is one of them. And something to really note here is hero setup. There's only a couple characters that have this. His is begin the game with 3 synth. If you have more than one opponent, begin with 4 synth instead. So you will automatically start the game 3 synth on the board. And what is synth? It is a positive status effect, stack limit of 7. And during your main phase 1 or main phase 2, you can build a bot, upgrade a bot, or spend 2 tokens, or 1 token depending on the bot itself. And if we're looking on the bots here, you have Nanobot. Really powerful if you play that game, but you really need to focus on the game at the same time. It's either do the Shockbot Healbot or do the Healbot Nanobot or Shockbot Nanobot. It's you really have to force that kind of nanites continuously on your opponents, because you can activate this during your upkeep phase. Detonate all nanites, and nanites, the more you have stack on them, the more damage that your player or your opponent receives, which can be really powerful overall. You have the Shockbot, adds 3 damage to your attack. That can be extremely powerful overall. It can make his basic attack hit very hard. And then you have Healbot. Activate this bot up to 2 times after being attacked with at least 6 damage. So it's just being attacked by 6. You can activate Healbot. Roll a die. On a wrench, heal 1. On a gear or a bolt, heal 2. So that can be really nice overall. Here's his dice pool. 1, 2, and 3 in wrenches. 4 and 5 are in gears, and 6 is bolts. So really, it's not a bad dice pool either. I really like this pool a lot, especially with his complexity. Makes rolling for his abilities a little bit easier overall. If you hear my cat in the background, I apologize. We got 2 new kittens, Jet and Ivy. And Jet is outside. She does not like being a door closed on her. So let's go ahead and talk about... this is the health dial, really nice overall, and the combat point dial, really nice overall. All right, so let's talk about these 3, or his activations, his abilities overall. You have Spanner Strike here, and it's a little misleading, honestly, overall. His Spanner Strike is 3, 4, 5 damage, and then you can roll 1 or spend a synth to roll 3 instead. I usually spend that 3 because I like additional dice. And then on a wrench, you add 1. On a gear, add 2. And then you can gain a synth per bolt that you roll. So you can notice if you roll 3 wrenches right here, or let's just see what we roll right there. So I rolled 2 wrenches, but I only add 1 damage because it says on and not by. So just keep that in mind. Be very mindful of what the ability says. But 3, 4, 5, so let's say you roll 5 damage. And right here we spend a synth. We add 1 more, which is 6 damage. And then we add your Shockbot into it as well. That's going to be 9 defendable damage, not counting anything else. That's pretty good overall for a basic attack. So that's really nice. Scrap Collector. It's a passive ability during your upkeep phase. Gain synth, so that's how you keep on gaining some synth over time if you're struggling with it. You can spend 4 synth at any time to inflict nanite on a chosen opponent. I don't use that too much, mainly because synth is really precious to me in terms of you're wanting 2 for heal bot if it's an upgraded one. You'll want another one for your shock bot at minimum. You want to be careful with that to some degree, but if you're finding that you have so much extra and you have the nanobot built, go ahead and use that synth. His upgraded ability, it's 2 CP. During your upkeep phase, roll a die. It's either gain 1 synth or 2 synth based on what you roll, and then still spend 4 synth to inflict a nanite on a chosen opponent. It's alright. It's a little expensive for me though for 2 CP, just for the possibility, 50% chance of gaining 2 synth rather than 1. That's one I pass quite a bit unless it's my first card out of the gate and I don't want to spend any other CP, then I may use that. His Spanner Strike is 1 CP. It adds additional damage. It's still on wrench, still on gear. I like it overall. It adds an additional damage, so base damage could be 6 plus 3 from Shockbot is 9 plus another 3, 12 defendable damage. That's really powerful for just a basic ability. So, and 1 CP, if you have it, use it, but if you had to spend it for something else, that's fine as well. A favorite of mine, Schematics. This should be your first turn, what you should be going for. Schematics. Draw 2 cards, heal 2, gain 4 synth. The reason why is you start with 3, you use this, you gain 4, you now are max 7 synth. You can then spend all 4 of those to get a couple different options. One option, if you're like me and I like a big, little bit of everything, you can spend 2, 4, 6 synth on your main phase and get all 3 basic bots. Boom, out of the gate. You've got all 3 bots. You have 1 synth left over, so you can get a defensive roll. You may be able to get another synth to then activate your basic bot, or you can save it to upgrade one of your bots later on. You also heal 2. Remember that you can heal up to 10 more than your starting health of the game. So Schematics is fantastic. It should be your go-to attack or ability at the beginning of your game. His upgrade is even better. You're gaining 2 CP, drawing 2 cards, heal 2, and now gaining 4 synth as well. The big thing is that gaining 2 CP for those additional cards to play. Next is probably one of your go-to attacks, Eureka and Eureka 2. You're gaining 3 synth and then dealing 7 damage on his basic, 8 damage on the upgraded. And then you also have Scratch built up here. I've never used it, mainly because it's never come out soon enough, but build an advanced bot or upgrade a basic bot to advanced. No synth required. So it's alright. It's kind of I'd rather go for the Eureka, but if I still need some bots being built and I couldn't get Eureka, that's a nice backup, I suppose, early on in the game, but you're basically going for that Eureka 2 later on. Jolt is your small straight. You'll get that quite a bit. Gain Sith, inflict nanite, dealing 7 damage. Remember, inflicting nanite, that does stack up. So if you have 1 nanite on a person, it's 1 damage. If it's 2 damage, if it's 2 nanites, it's 3 damage, and 3 nanites is 5 damage. It's pretty good overall. His upgraded 2 CP. You're inflicting 2 nanites rather than 1, so that's really powerful as well, especially you do that early on. And then Nuts and Bolts, gain 5 synth. That's just a nice little give me it all. So maybe you rolled a bolt and all wrenches, you go with that rather than Schematics. A little bit safer overall, just not as much happening for you. And then the large straight, Zap. Inflict nanite, deal 9 damage, then activate any 1 bot. Ignore normal activation requirements. So this tells you that how the bot would normally activate overall, like Nanobot on your upkeep phase. However, you're dealing this damage, then you can activate any one of them. So you can activate your Nanobot, activate your Heal Bot, activate your Shock Bot. For me, I like doing 9 damage, activating my shock bot normally. And then on top of that, I can inflict nanites beyond that. So that, or if I'm struggling for some health, I'll do my heal bot. It's really, really, really powerful overall. And then his upgrade ability, only 2 CP, gain 2 synth, as well as inflicting nanite, dealing 9 damage, then activate any one bot, ignore normal activation requirements. And then swarming bots, that can be pretty good as well. Deal 5 damage, add 1 damage for each bot you have built. So it could go up to 8 damage plus shock bot is 11 defendable damage. Really powerful overall. So you can tell that he can, Artificer can really hit hard overall, which is really nice. You just got to get that shock bot going and a lot of synth for him. Overclock, deal 6 undefendable damage, then activate up to 2 different bots, ignoring normal activation requirements. Extremely powerful. I mean, with the shock bot, that's 9 undefendable plus nanobot. Yeah, that's a big swing overall for your mini ultimate. And then you have Overclock 2 for 2 CP. It's always an auto upgrade for your mini ultimates. Inflict nanite as well, dealing 6 undefendable. And then power up, inflict 3 nanites on a chosen opponent. That can be really, really, really powerful on Dice Throne Adventures, because it just says a chosen opponent. So that can be any minion that you're going up against, Fallen Barbarian or Fallen, what have you. So that's really powerful. Lastly, you have his defense ability, rolling 4 dice, gaining a synth per gear that you roll. I'm sorry, I got the hiccups all of a sudden. And then on Bolt, inflict nanite. So it's not multiple, it's just on. It's alright. And then Ratchet up 2 for 3 CP, his most expensive card. For upgrades at least. On 2 wrenches, deal damage. On gears, gain a synth per. And then on bolts, inflict nanite per. So his upgrade is definitely worth it. It's a much significant upgrade. You're rolling 5 dice rather than 4. Ability to possibly deal damage, gain synth, inflicting nanites. It is a little bit more costly card. However, he does have the ability to gain CP. He has the ability to draw cards. It's not bad overall. I like upgrading it. Just don't expect to rebuttal a lot of damage on his board. You do have the opportunity with his cards, but not so much with his board himself. Overall, if I had to sell a couple cards, I would probably sell the Scrap Collector later on in the game. Spanish Strike 2, later on in the game, I'd probably sell that as well, as I'd be needing it for dice modifier cards. I like the Small Straight, inflicting 2 nanites, especially late in the game. Nanites is really good overall. But Eureka, I'm always going to keep that gaining 3 synth, dealing extra damage. It's really good overall. Let's talk about some of his specialty cards here. He have Synthesize, the promo card, on Bolt, gain 5 synth. That's just fantastic. If you can do that right out of the gate, turn 1, that is phenomenal. You have Robo Revenge and Arcane Shield, 2 defensive cards. For Arcane Shield, it's 0 CP, prevent 2 incoming damage, spend a synth to prevent 3 instead. Really nice overall, especially if you get hit hard with an attack, you pair it with Not This Time, you can prevent up to 9. That's a really nice safeguard for you. And then you also have Robo Revenge for CP, prevent 2 incoming damage, inflict nanite on your attacker. So if you're playing that nanite play, that's just how you can gain or inflict additional on them. You also have Nanite Assault, inflict nanite on a chosen opponent. That's alright. If an opponent has 2 and I want them to have that 1 additional before I activate the nanobot, then I will do that. However, that might be a sell for me as well if I'm not doing that play. Gain 2 synth, 1 CP. Fantastic, honestly, overall. For 1 CP, if it's an emergency, I need 2 synth right now for my heal bot. That's fantastic for activating your nanobot, shock pot, whatever it may be. It's a nice little back pocket card. Conductivity, 0 CP, roll a die. It's a mix of what you're going to get, which I personally don't care for. I like to know exactly what I'm going to get, or induce what I want to get as well. So on a wrench, gain 2 CP, on synth or on gear, gain a synth, on a bolt, inflict nanite. So right out of the gate, if I just have nothing and I'm like, I just need something, I'll roll that. 0 CP overall. And then ooh, shiny, roll a die, gain half the value as synth rounded up. Fantastic as well. Another back pocket. I need at least 1 synth, but 3 would be fantastic. I'm going to play that as well if I can't get it my usual ways. His stats effects cards, what stats effects? Get that out of here. Transference, bye-bye. I would probably want to keep those, mainly because, as you can tell, there's not really a way to get rid of any stats effects. So if you're playing against, let's say, the Cursed Pirate, or maybe Vampire Lord, Huntress, you're going against a person that likes to inflict a lot of negative stats effects, Tactician, you're going to want those stats effects, and you're going to have to be very choosy of when you're going to use those stats effects. So if it's a Constrict, I'm not going to spend any of those cards. But if it's a Poison, if maybe a Bleed, but me personally, I tend to roll out of bleeds quite a bit, so I don't always use them for bleeds. If whatever it may be, I may spend it, but a majority of the time I'm going to be very choosy on what stats effect cards I get rid of. For your resourceful cards, Getting Paid, Vegas Baby, Double Up, Triple Up, fantastic. He does like milling through his deck a little bit, especially with schematics. So I'm just going to enforce that a little bit more by using the Double Up, Triple Up, Vegas Baby, and Getting Paid. Very resource heavy character overall, or hero. And then lastly, you have all of your dice modifier cards. I'm really torn with Better D. I'm not sure if this is a character I would want to use this on, because mainly it's, if I'm struggling for that synth, then I might use it, but that might be a card that I would sell for something better. Helping Hand, that can be really helpful too, trying to get your, I almost never sell Helping Hand. It's just too powerful to mess with your opponent's dice without using in your wild cards. Tippet's powerful, obviously. You have your 6-hits. 6-hit can be really nice in your back pocket if you're trying to go for schematics, if you're trying to go for large straight, trying to inflict nanite, and you just can't get that 6. That 6 is really nice, just as a help, a guarantee to get that 6 for you. Try again. You shouldn't need it too much. One more time as well, mainly because his dice pool is pretty reasonable overall. You shouldn't need those too much, so don't be afraid to sell those if you need to for these other more powerful cards. Obviously, you have your wild, so wild that you just don't want to sell those. Alrighty, so like I normally do, I will do a couple rolls to just get you a feel of what it looks like if you don't have any CP, no cards in your hand, and you're just trying to roll and see what you get here. So I'm going to try to go for schematics right out of the gate. First turn, I'm trying to get something going for me. So again, I'm having this 3 synth right here, start of the game. Boom, I got 1, 2. So it's kind of interesting here. You have a small straight, which is good. Gain Sith, inflict nanite, deal 7 damage. You're dealing damage right out of the gate. However, you're not setting yourself up at all. You're still struggling for any sort of bot at all. Another option as well, obviously, right out of the gate before you roll, is you spend 2 synth to get your basic shock bot. I would always suggest getting that right out of the gate, because that shock bot adding additional 3 damage for multiple attacks, just it adds up. So For me, a lot of times I hate to roll out of out of something I rolled. However, I'm very confident 2 more rolls I can get a gear, just like that. And then boom, I have schematics, draws 2 cards, heal 2, gain 4 synth. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Main phase 2. I'll probably spend 2 to get the heal bot. And then I'm also probably going to upgrade my bot, take 3 tokens, and I'm probably just going to go right for the shock bot, and I'll just take a little bit of damage right out of the gate. I'm not too worried about it for next turn. Sorry if that got a little bit out of focus for you. So let's say it's my next turn. I still have absolutely nothing to go with. We do have the makings the straight. We also have the makings of schematics. If you wanted to go schematics again, that's fine. I suppose you're drawing 2 more cards, so you're up 4 cards. You're healing 2, gaining 4 more synth. So let's just say, let's see what that looks like here. There's schematics gaining 4 synth. 2, 3, 4. And then I also would have gained 1 on my upkeep phase as well. I would have done that last time as well. I apologize for that. Just wasn't looking at it. I was more worried about the rolls. So then do my advanced bot right there. And then I could also get nanobot out if I wanted to. Or I can save these 3 synth as well. I do like to use them though, mainly because if I get another attack or ability that has a high synth, I'm going to lose out of some stuff. So boom, there it is. Just try to go for another attack. So start my phase or turn, I would gain a synth. Okay, 3, 4, and we have close to that. And I don't have any cards in my hands or CP or anything like that to help me out. So let's just go base right there. I could also try to go for Eureka. Just like that. So I'm rolling pretty well overall. So gain 3 synth. Shock bot, spending 1. And then I'm dealing 10 damage. And now I am ready to go for my heal bot. I'm ready to go if I wanted to upgrade my nanobot to advanced. I probably want to do that until I'm ready to play that way. If I'm finding that, okay, I'm inflicting nanites, I'm through my small straight, large straight, mini, cards in my hand. If I'm finding I'm having so much synth I don't know what to do with it, I can inflict some. Then I'm going to upgrade that quite a bit. But I do like having that out there, just done out of the way. They are considered companions, meaning that an opponent or yourself, no one can ever get rid of them. Once they're on the board forever. So I like getting them right there. The only thing I didn't talk about yet would be maximum firepower, his ultimate, gaining 2 synth, inflict nanite, deal 10 damage, activate 2 different bots. Pretty powerful overall, especially if you're activating your shock bot as well. So it's 13, inflicting nanites and activating your nanobot as well. You could do 13, 18 undefendable damage, gaining 2 synth as well. Pretty powerful overall. So that is the shock bot. Sometimes I like to, in that right there, put all synth right here. But I do like, personally, having all the synth or status effects laid out individually just to show myself and any opponents what I actually have rather than a stack. I just don't care for a stack overall. I think he is great overall in terms of Dice Throne Adventures. I think he's great overall on 1v1. His complexity is a little bit up there, mainly because you have a lot of moving status effect tokens coming and going. Understanding when a bot can be activated and when it cannot. Other than that, I love him. He's a fantastic character overall. I hope you really enjoy him. Let me know if he's a person that you've tried yet, if you enjoy him, if you don't enjoy him. Let me know down in the comments below. Until next time, we'll see you. Take care.